Welcome to the NBTLT podcast with your guides to this magical journey, Lon and Zumi.
Welcome to another episode of the NBTLT podcast, the only podcast without gender identity issues. I'm Lon, and I'm here with my partner in crime, Zumi. How's it going, Zumi?
I'll tell you how it's going. Not having.
Why don't you tell me?
Not having any gender identity issues.
Are you sure? You could have fooled me with all the shit that you were talking right before we started recording.
I don't know, man. It's like I tell everybody, I'm secure in my sexuality. My boyfriend's gay, not me.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So, what's been going on with you?
Well, I think first of all, we should kind of like apologize to the audience because
I guess we could.
Episode 33 is not up yet at the time of this recording.
Well, technically, it'll be up before this one. So
yeah, so I guess if you're one of those people that just likes to listen to the most recent one, stop this recording. Go back to episode 33 because it's possibly better than this episode.
Yeah, better in quality. Or no, I guess you could say quantity.
Context
Or
content.
Yes.
Yeah, better in content. But anyways, did you enjoy it?
I really did. I really enjoyed doing pretty much all the stories that Shane had. And
dude, and he has a shitload more.
I know. That's what. Oh my goodness! And that's why we're most definitely going to have him on again.
Yeah. So I talked to him, and the reason why we didn't upload the episodes because we had an audio malfunction, you can say.
Yeah.
So we couldn't sync the audio, so that's why it sounds like it's a straight up Skype call. We wanted to have better quality, but we just couldn't do it. So
yeah, we tried hard too.
Yeah, like we were putting extra hours on this fucking recording, and it just didn't work out for us. So that's why you get that version. But next time it'll be better, and the stories will be a lot dirtier and funnier.
Well, the crazy thing was that I downloaded 3 new programs just to try to fix it.
And
it didn't. There was nothing that could save that.
No, and I know you were stressing out because you had work, you had school.
Oh, dude, school. Oh my God. I could get into that if you'd like me to.
Yeah, and
now that it's still fresh.
Yeah, and then you had Zumi like on your ass, like, "Are we up yet? Are we up yet?"
Shane is the fucking director.
Shane is texting me
and up inside my ass.
It's like Shane is texting me, dude. He wants to know. Like, no, he's more than ready, and he was willing to record tonight with us, but he's like,
he's a champion.
He's like, "Can you guys record at 7?" And I'm like, 7. I'm like, wait a second, you're in fucking Hawaii right now. 7's like 10 for us. Like, no, it's not gonna happen.
Actually, I think it's like 3 p.m. or something. No,
they're 3 hours behind.
I'm not even gonna.
They're
3 hours.
Yeah, they're 3 hours behind.
So yeah, it would be 4 o'clock our time. No, shit.
No,
10 o'clock at night.
10 o'clock
at night. I'm such a dumbass. I was going forward.
But here's the thing, like he's in Hawaii with his daughter, and I'm like, nah, dude, like
spend the time with her.
Yeah. Like we'll just record before the end of the year. I would like to have him before the end of the year.
Yeah. And this is a crazy time of year for me, just because we like you said, I got a lot of stuff going right now. We are in the process of closing on the house. Like, all of our stuff is done. We've already been approved. Everything is all good. The only thing we're waiting on is an appraisal to be done. And of course, it's a VA loan. So everything takes, like 3 times as long as it would normally take with just like a, whatever you call them.
Yeah.
Conventional loan. So they had to wait for that. Everything's starting to go through. I think we're looking at like the middle to end of next month being the day that we'll be in the house.
Okay.
So, and actually we just drove by the house tonight when we were driving home just to kind of see what it's like. You know, I kind of like to look at the neighborhood at night.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so fucking quiet up there. But it's weird because we live in an apartment complex, right?
Mm-hmm.
So moving from this on like the kind of shitty part of town to going up to where like doctors and shit live, it's going to be a weird transition. I'll have to mow my lawn, you know, or else the, whatever you call it, the housing union or whatever will get on my ass.
Did you get a homeowners association?
No, we didn't. But
that's gonna ill advice from that.
No, I would never do it anyway. But so yeah, it's a really nice part of town. It's a cool little home. I mean, like I was telling you, it's kind of big.
Where is it?
But you've been to the South Hill, right?
Yeah.
It's way up there off of 29th, if you remember that.
Yeah, I do.
Like where all those, you know, like you had Rose Hours and Numerica Credit Union was up there. But they have like we were right next to like Jewish temple. So you know it's a good part of town, right?
At least the income is high enough.
Yeah. So that was one of the big factors of us choosing that house was the area and the property value.
Speaking of the ghetto, do you remember that one time we were driving and then just like these random guy, like we stopped for direction and the guy got pissed at us for asking for direction?
Vaguely.
Or he's like, oh, we're trying to find, I can't remember what we were trying to find. It was like somewhere to eat. And he's like, you're going to take this and you're going to make a left.
Oh, yes. Yes. I remember this guy.
The guy was just yelling at him. And then Solomon was instigating, going like, so I take a left.
Yeah.
We're just like,
dude, stop, man.
Like, yeah. That was like a weird way to give directions. Just like really angry.
Yeah, but he could have been a tweaker.
Yeah, that's true.
Which we saw one tonight. You know, he was sitting on a street corner with a, you know, cardboard sign.
Dude, dude,
he was just going for it, man. Like his hands were everywhere.
Speaking of tweaker, have you seen this these videos about people being on this drug? Like it's called Cloud9?
Yes. You mean the zombie drug?
Yes. Holy fuck, dude.
I don't know. Like, what is physically happening to a person?
No fucking clue, but they actually,
because seriously, if you people listening have not seen this shit, you need to just go to YouTube and type in Cloud9 effects.
Well, first they should see the zombies in The Walking Dead and how they behave.
Yeah, it's the same thing. And
then look at this guy, do like a side by side comparison. They call it the zombie drug, and that's why.
And it's not like it's not like they're just kind of like comatose, or not comatose, but like what would the word be? Like slow and kind of like no, it's way worse than that. It's like that type of zombie that's like demon possessed type of thing.
They're like hyper. Their fucking eyes just move everywhere, and I think they can talk, but all it comes out is
yeah, it's really weird.
Why would you fucking do that to yourself, dude?
I don't know.
It's like
that is my big question is is there a high that goes with this?
I don't know. Like it's kind of like that, what's that? They call it that alligator drug. It turns your skin into like...
Oh God, that was the one like out in Brazil or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it made itself its way to Europe. And so it's a big problem in like Prague and what's it called?
Oh, that's right. I think I've seen the Vice documentary.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the same thing. It's like, why would you fucking do that to yourself, dude? Like, no.
I don't know. And the other one, have you heard of the other one? I don't remember the name of it, but it was basically like if you blew a powder on someone, like you can, it takes away pretty much all of their free will. Like they just do whatever they're told. Like it shuts off a certain portion of the brain. You haven't seen this shit?
No, I haven't seen that one.
I'll have to find this.
Is that like the new Roofies?
It's worse, dude. I think there's also a Vice document. It might have been the same documentary on like the most dangerous drugs or whatever.
Yeah.
Drug that, oh my gosh, makes you lose
free will. It's just like
world's
a word.
scariest drugs. The Devil's Breath. I'm trying to find the name of it here. Scopolamine.
I've never heard of it.
This shit. It's a substance so intense that it renders a person incapable of exercising free will. The first few days in the country were a harrowing montage. This is the description of the Vice documentary. Were a harrowing montage of freaked out dealers and unimaginable horror stories about scopolamine. After meeting only a few people with first-hand experience, the story took a far darker turn than we ever could have imagined. So yeah, just look up, like, you could probably watch it on YouTube, but World's Scariest Drug, The Devil's Breath. I mean, this shit...
I don't know, man. That fucking Cloud9 drug was fucking scary.
Messed up, but there's a lot of messed up stuff out there. Oh. So speaking of seeing stuff, I mean, I know that you're not into all the new Star Wars stuff. I know that you're a what would you call a traditionalist?
I'm an anti-Star Wars, though, I guess.
But so you still like the original trilogy?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up
you
with
like
it
it for what it is.
Yeah, but you know, like I said, after I watched Jodorowsky's Dune, it was.
You're such an asshole,
dude. I'm sorry. Like, I wish I wouldn't have seen
I
it.
saw it too,
but you know, Jodorowsky's it's a pseudo teacher to me, or like a proxy teacher, not a pseudo teacher.
Well,
proxy.
I will say that I really do wish. I mean, I'll get back to the Star Wars trailer, but I really do wish that, not necessarily that Jodorowsky would do, because he's never going to. The guy's going to die, you know, in the next decade or something.
Dude, he's like 86.
Yeah.
He looks like a guy who's like in his 50s.
Yes, he does. But he's also, what, is he from Spain?
He's, no, he lives in France, and so I think he's half French, half Jewish, I believe. Something like that.
Jodorowsky. I'm trying to think of like well, I guess you could always look it up. But
oh no, from Chile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that makes more
he's
sense.
He's half Chilean, half Chilean.
Yeah.
Half French.
He's half Chile.
But yeah,
yeah, I know that he's not going to do it. He's already made that claim several times. He's like, no, there's no way.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not going to happen. People need to get over it.
Yeah.
I mean, but we've also been told that before by other people. It's just coming from him. I believe him.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's one of the things, like, if he would have made that project, essentially he would have done the first miniseries.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like an HBO show. It's just a long, prolonged movie.
And that was actually my point, was I wish that they kind of had like a student of his or someone who was really into that kind of thing and got notes or something from him and kind of got his blessing before he offs and kind of start like an HBO type series.
Yeah. I think if somebody does it like that, it would be his son. But
yes, his son is very, very talented. But yeah, with the new Star Wars trailer, now I gotta say, man, whoever does the trailers for movies like this, they are impressive.
He's a fucking genius.
I'm serious. I mean, because, you know, you had the Force Awakens trailer. The first one was incredible, you know, and then the second one was almost as good, you know, but not quite. And then you watch the movie and you're like, well, you know, yeah, you know, I liked it, and a lot of people didn't, but it's like, it's not the trailer.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's like Days of Future Past.
Oh my god,
dude, that fucking
trailer.
That fucking trailer's amazing. Like,
if you knew nothing else about it and you just watched the trailer,
it got me pumped. I'm like, yes, it's like a great story from the comic books, and then you go watch the movie and you're like, why is Magneto even in this movie?
Did you like Logan?
I did like Logan.
I thought that was a really good movie.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really. I was a little bit pissed off that they just had Picard throwing F-bombs left and right. It's like, it's not necessary, dude. Like, we know you wanted the R rating, but it's not necessary to have him saying fuck like every
I
other.
don't think they needed him doing that to get the R rating.
Exactly,
That,
like
a
like,
little girl brutalizing adult men was pretty. Was I think that was enough.
Yeah. So, but for what it is, I really enjoyed the movie. I really liked it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you which movie I haven't seen though, and I've heard very good reviews. Is Blade Runner.
Yes. There's been a couple of guys at work that have seen it, and they said, "Dude, and these are guys that
Haven't seen the first one.
No, they've seen the first one. These are guys that were like in college and stuff, or at college age when the first one came out. And how old were you and I? Like a couple of years old.
Yeah. Well, this is in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
I was born in 85, so
I was in 84. So yeah, you a couple years old.
yeah, I probably didn't see it till like the 90s or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
And these people are like, I had no idea that they were going to be able to do something that kind of matched the level of what the original had.
Well, have you seen the short films? They're in YouTube. There's three short films, and I was just like, dude, I want to watch this movie like so bad.
And like we had said before, I think we've said it on the podcast that I didn't think that, I'd like what's his name, Ryan Gosling as a Blade Runner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. Like, you watch the trailers and you watch the short films and you're like, dude, this looks fucking awesome. And he's perfect for it. It's weird. But got that one. I watched War for the Planet of the Apes.
Finally.
Yeah. Good movie. Good movie. And I saw the part with the little girl walking around.
Wasn't that scene brilliant?
Yep. And I also thought that the way that, spoiler alert, I thought that the way that Woody Harrelson's character died was beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
The doll.
Yeah. It's like...
That's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
Because at first I'm like, no, it's not contagious. It's probably just some effect of the virus or whatever. Something simple like that, right? It just took a while for it to affect certain humans.
Yeah.
But nope, it's contagious.
It's mutation, right? So.
Yeah. And did you notice Cornelius?
I did.
You know who Cornelius is,
yeah, I
right?
did. I did notice Cornelius.
Yep, Cornelius is one of the main characters in the original Planet of the Apes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
and
why.
I think Lake is still in those movies.
I don't remember. But I do remember mentioning that they did reference to the original, and Cornelius was one of them. The virus, or the fact that the humans don't speak, was another one.
Mm-hmm.
And which kind of makes you think, like, does that mean that the guy from the 70s eventually is going to lose his speech?
It's possible.
So,
if it's infectious,
pretty fucked up, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But I like the way they closed that movie, and like I said, I really like that one scene where with the little girl is just like, I'm like, yeah, that's how it is, Kids sees a different world, and adults are so busy doing adult shit that they don't even notice this girl like just walking around freely in there.
Yep. And I watched it with Christelle, and she liked it too. Which is rare, I will say. Because usually the movies I like, she won't like, but we have some common ground. But that was one of those ones where we both really, really liked. So it was good.
Good.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to find more movies to watch, but.
Okay, so here's the did you fucking watch The Discovery?
Yeah. And I'm about to drop a bomb on you.
What do you mean?
I fucking hated it.
What? Get the fuck out of here.
I thought it had a good plot, but the result of what happens, it kind of pissed me off.
Why?
Because it seems stupid.
No, it doesn't.
It seems extremely stupid. It's like this purgatory type thing.
Dude, see, this is one of those theories, right?
Yes. I get it.
So right now, wait, okay, yeah, you get it. And you didn't find it like as one of the best movies to describe that theory.
If you want to say you're describing the theory, yes, it was fine. It just didn't impress me.
Oh my god, dude. Are you serious right now?
Yes.
Are you being serious right now?
Absolutely.
You're not just busting my balls.
I fucking hated it.
Oh my god, dude, I loved it. I thought it was. I thought it was brilliant. Because it's one of those things. Like another one that mentions something like this, and just very briefly, is Rabbit Hole. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yes.
There's this one scene when Nicole Kidman's sitting with the kid, and the kid's like explaining this comic book, right, and how, like in a parallel universe, like none of this happened or whatever. And Nicole Kidman just like, I kind of like that idea. Somewhere out there, I'm actually having a blast.
Yeah.
So I liked it because it's one of the things, like, think about all those times that we almost died.
Yeah.
Right? So in some scenarios we did fucking die.
Yeah.
In a parallel universe, right? And then so this is the what if you didn't die.
Yeah.
Part that we're living. So
it's fucked up, right?
It's fucked up, but it's pretty cool. Like I've never seen it explained in a movie that well, like in The Discovery. I can't believe you didn't like it.
I thought it was fine, but it just didn't impress me. I will say, no shit, I had a dream about that whole theory where it was a little bit different. It was like a cross between that theory and Second Earth.
Okay.
And sometimes my dreams get really weird and descriptive. I don't know if you have this. I'm not talking about like, lucid dreaming. I'm talking just a regular dream, but like sometimes they get pretty descriptive and it, kind of feels real, right? I had this dream where something happened where these astronauts, they basically go out into the far stretches of the solar system and they reach what we call a black hole, right? But when they get there, it creates some type of singularity where there's another Earth, right?
Yeah.
And it, kind of splits the dimensions and kind of joins them together in a weird way. It doesn't make sense because it's a dream. It couldn't happen, technically, physically in real life.
Right.
Obviously, but the result of it was at that same time, because of that singularity, somehow on that other parallel universe, on that second Earth, a bunch of people on each one died, but it was different for each one. And so like you're with Anna, but Anna dies here, but on that one you die.
Oh, I got you.
But in this one, it was basically Christelle and I here were fine, but on the other one, only I had died. But it happened like right around the time we were dating.
Ah, okay.
So she never got to get married, and she never, like, after that, like, she never got married, never, like, it's a guy's dream, right? Like, I die, she doesn't go with anybody else. But it was really sad because, like, I was, like, somehow I was able to see her on that other Earth and how she is, and she was, obviously a little different, but the same, but not, she's like, she hasn't been changed by me in any way. You know what I mean?
Right.
All she does is miss me. And it was really kind of a fucked up dream. And I told Christelle about it. I'm like, dude, the dream made me really sad. Because it's like, first of all, there's several questions that arise. It's like, is it cheating?
Is it cheating?
If you do, and then the other thing is like, how does that make your version of your wife feel, knowing that there's another her? It's kind of weird. The whole thing kind of like fucked me up for the rest of the day because I kept on thinking about it. I'm like, dude, that whole scenario is so messed up. There's a reason why we can't time travel.
It's pretty fucked up. So, yeah, I still can't believe you didn't like it though.
Mm-mm.
I thought you were gonna like the whole thing, like he was actually stuck in a loop.
I also don't like what's his name as an actor though, so that could have affected it.
Oh my god.
I liked it. I like him more in comedy roles. I do not like him as a dramatic actor.
No, I actually I was impressed with his acting.
That and Rooney Mara, is that her name? Pretty sure that's her name. The girl.
Oh.
You know, she kind of annoys me. She's a good actress. She is. But I just didn't like her for that role.
Oh man. That's funny. So
Agree to disagree.
I guess, yeah. If I can hype this movie for you and you come in with I can't believe you. I can't believe it right now. I really can't.
I didn't care for it.
So
but we still have The Godfather.
Yeah, we still have The Godfather. So last week or 2 weeks ago when we were recording with Shane, something happened to me that Friday.
Oh boy.
And it's pretty messed up because
Did you see somebody die?
No, fuck no, dude. I have, but
just not then.
Oh, okay. So there I was.
No shit.
I go to Encinitas and I'm packing my shit. Nobody's there, so I'm like the last one to leave to Mexico, right?
Okay.
And I always stop at this gas station. It's a Valero gas station. It's where I buy my lotto tickets and all that stuff, and my Dr. Pepper before I leave. And on occasion, if I was lazy and I didn't make it to Costco, that's where I fill up my tank. So, anyways, I park and I was my phone was plugged in, right? Because I was listening to music.
Yeah.
So I parked, and this is one of the few times that I actually had cash to pay for gas.
Yeah, who does that? Nobody carries cash.
So I get the cash ready, and I open the car, and then I realize like, oh, I gotta lock the car, and I'm trying to find my keys, and my keys aren't there. I'm like, oh shit, I took my keys out and I left it on the side because I took the wallet out, right?
Yeah.
So I go and open the door, and the fucking door doesn't open.
Oh, great.
So I'm like, fuck. And I look at the keys, and they're on the passenger side. So Nissan
staring at you.
Nissan Altimas have the same way. If you have your key close to you, you can press a button.
Yeah.
And it unlocks it, right?
Yeah.
So I tried it from the driver's side. It didn't fucking work. I'm like, oh shit. Well, it's close enough to the passenger side. I'm like, I'm going. I click the button, and nothing.
Oh my god.
So I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, all right, I'll just call my friend Justin. And then I'm like, fuck, my phone is still plugged in.
Oh.
I'm like, shit.
It's like you got transported back to the 80s.
And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, well, I don't want to elbow the window, like, but I consider,
because you don't even know how, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, well, I'm like, Dad's not here. I can't call. I don't know the fucking phone numbers, because you save them on your phone for a reason.
Yeah.
You have no need to like memorize phone numbers anymore.
Yep, and you just got matrixed.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
depend on technology.
So I go to the front, and I'm like, hey, so 35 on 5, I believe, and I'm like, hey, bro, I just locked myself out of my car. I live like right here, so I'm gonna walk and pick up my spare key. Is it okay if I leave my car there, like, because it's parked on the dispenser thingy, right? And he's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, man, don't worry about it. I'm like, all right, I'll be back in like 20 minutes. So I leave, and I start my fucking walk of shame, right?
Uh-huh.
So
wait. Did you have keys to your place?
No.
Oh my god. Okay.
So I'm like, I live here. It's like, it'll take me like 20 minutes. I'll be right back. Right? So I have to go up a hill, and I'm not in the best shape of my life right now. My legs were on fire, dude. And then, so kind of to describe it, like I have to go up a hill, then turn a right, and I live all the way on the other corner of this ginormous block. So one way is a mile, and I know it's a mile because when on Monday when I drove back, I kind of clocked it.
Yeah,
and it was a mile, right? So I get a mile, and then I realized I don't have a fucking key, and I'm like, fuck me. And I closed the sliding door before I left. I'm like, shit. Luckily, my uncle back in the day always put a spare key like outside. So I'm like, okay, so I know there's a spare key, and I found it. I was able to find it. So, and then the horrible thought came across my mind. I was like, what if my fucking spare key doesn't work? So I'm like, shit. Well, if it doesn't work, I guess I'll have those guys call a tow company or something. I don't. So I have to walk back, right? Like I'm sweating, dude. Like my shirt was just like drenched in sweat. Like, and I finally make it. So an hour later, from the time that I told the guy like I'll be back, my car is still there. I'm like, okay. So I like click and it opens up. I'm like, yes. So the first thing I do is I grab the keys, put them in my pocket, grab the phone, and I'm like, okay, like I'm good, right? I go and I buy a water, and then I'm like, hey man, like thanks, like I got it to open. And he's like, oh yeah man, don't worry, we're brothers, man. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, motherfucker, if we're brothers, you should have offered me a ride.
Dude, he forgot who you were the second you left that place.
So I'm like, I call my wife and I'm like, yeah, so I'm gonna be late for dinner.
I have to take a shower.
And I tell you, it's funny, because the previous week I was talking to my wife about that I should be more grateful for the stuff that I have and not the stuff that I wish I had or the stuff that I don't have. And I'm like, maybe I should have been a little bit more specific with the universe. I don't need a really hard lesson to be grateful that my car is working,
Yeah.
So yeah, I did a fucking walk of shame, dude. A mile one way, a mile back on the way back. And here's the thing, I had people like flashing their lights on me to like get the fuck out of the way and honking. I'm like,
you're just doing the like, oh my god,
I'm like,
motherfuckers.
I'm like, dude, like don't. I'm like,
it's like that's like one of those scenes in Falling Down.
Yeah, and I'm like,
the wrong fucking day, people.
I'm talking to I'm like, Robert, don't flip him off, don't flip him off. But yeah, dude, like it was a humbling experience, and but like I said, I wasn't specific enough with the universe, because I did say like I should be more grateful about the stuff that I have, and that happened. So,
So how do you feel about it? You good?
Yeah, I'm good now. Like I had, essentially 3 weeks to vent.
Okay, I don't know if you're like me at all. Like I'm not very I usually don't have like a routine for anything that I do in the house, right? Except for stuff that I have to do. Like I'm not very regimented in the things that I do, but there are some things. Like, and one of them is, before I leave the house for work, I always make sure, like, I have my phone, I have my wallet, I have my e-cig, I have my backpack, my lunch, and any change of clothes that I might need. I always make sure. And it pisses me off so much on the days that I forget something. Like you know how you get pissed, like, oh, I forgot my phone, or I forgot my wallet or something like that, and you got to turn back around, you got to go get it. But for me, it's like it's so much worse because I make sure that I do these things like all the time. And I know that if someone stops me, if Christelle stops me to do something like right before I leave for work, I know in my mind, like, okay, this is going to fuck something up. Like I'm going to forget something. And I always say, okay, don't forget, like I'm thinking to myself, don't forget this. I even hit like a hard object and say the thing out loud so I don't forget, right? Just to have the association, like, so that I remember. I'm really anal retentive about this kind of stuff because I hate leaving stuff. Are you this way?
No.
Or do you just go willy-nilly? Like, you're like, oh, yeah, I have my phone, and then you just walk out the door.
I check. I always count, right?
Yep.
So
you tap your pockets?
Yeah, it's a 3 count for me. It's keys, wallet, phone. That's all I have in my pockets. So, but I mean, that's about as far as a routine that goes in, like, in the morning. Or
well, and here's the other thing I think I'm going to start doing is preparing my kids' clothes the night before.
Dude, I try that shit. It doesn't fucking work.
How many times have you looked for socks or shoes?
A lot.
Like every fucking day.
Dude, even like earlier, like like we were showering my kids. Like we had the clothes outside, and we still lost shoes or not shoes, but like their sandals and stuff. I'm like,
dude, they're like ninjas. They just grab and run. I don't get it. Like, how does a shoe that I had right next to me, how does it go missing?
I know, dude.
Oh my God.
You're preaching to the choir here.
And it's worse the more kids you have.
Yeah.
Because it's like they hand it off to each other like a bunch of pickpockets. It's like, here, take it. You'll never find it. But we try to keep all the shoes in the closet, but that never fucking happens.
No,
you set them up all nice, and then the next day the closet looks like it's closed, like it was when you left it. Everything looks fine. You open it up, and nothing's there.
Yeah. So I was gonna say that I felt like Cersei from Game of Thrones. I just needed the bell and the nun yelling at me, shame, shame, shame. I mean, it could have been worse though. Like if I didn't find that fucking spare key, I don't know what I would have done. Like break a window or something.
I was thinking of something the other day. Like how everybody loves Fridays, right? Or whatever your Friday is, like right before your weekend, whatever day it might be. So your last day of the week. But basically, everybody loves Fridays. I fucking hate Fridays. And I'll tell you why. Something always seems to happen on Fridays.
What?
You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like Murphy's Law. Fridays, you're expecting, like, usually what we do in the group that I work with is we try to get as much done Monday through Thursday as we can, so that on Friday you don't have to do that much, right?
Right.
You can kind of take it easy. It's a nice slow day. You can relax a little bit. But every Friday, like, you have everything perfectly set up. There's things that you did on Wednesday and Thursday night so you wouldn't have to do them on Friday. All of that's fine. And then something happens, like, oh, we really need to get this done because this happened or that happened. Or, hey, this just, a van just crashed, you got to send you guys out to go get it or something like that. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with Fridays? And I was expecting it yesterday for, of course, Friday the 13th, right? Nothing happened. And I was pissed at myself because I was bored. It's like, I set up everything, nothing happens on Friday, and now I'm still bored. It's like, can't even fucking win with my own mind.
I thought that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you want then?
Apparently I'm looking forward to Fridays in a certain capacity, like, that something actually happens just to make me feel normal.
So I have a second portion of my story after doing the walk of shame.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll leave it to the end though.
Okay.
It's funny. But anyways, this last Wednesday I went golfing.
Okay.
And
how'd you do?
Well, I scored well, but I
What's
lost
your handicap?
It's my index.
Oh, excuse
for all you
me.
golfers, 9.2. So
that's not terrible.
So, anyways, so this whole week has been Member Appreciation Week. So the company has been doing like they've been giving us like jackets and bringing us food, doing raffles and shit, right?
Sure.
And they did this one on Wednesday where it was they gave us free hot dogs, and then they did recess after work. So they brought in like a ping pong table. They had cards, and they had this ginormous Jenga game.
Oh, you mean like the big brick?
The
wood brick?
The yes. So I'm playing with two of my coworkers. And I'm talking so much fucking smack, dude.
Because you're an asshole.
And this game lasted for it was like 45 minutes.
It's intense.
And on the last one, I'm like, I had this block, right? And my coworkers are going like, no. I'm like, yes, I'm already committed. And I pulled it, and it just fucking falls, right? And I was able to hold it with my other hand, so we didn't get the splash. I didn't want to pick it up. So I'm like, all right, let's call it. So they go upstairs, right? And they're giving me so much shit in front of everybody else because I was talking like so much. I was like trash talking, like, you know, like I have an Australian coworker. And I'm like, do it for Australia. Fuck it up. If you fuck this one up, Australia doesn't love you anymore. And you know, the other one, I'm like, if you make this one, we're not friends anymore. I was just like talking smack. So they're getting back at me, like, your trash talking didn't work and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And that same day, like after work, I had planned this round of golf with one of my friends, Steve. And this whole entire time, I'm talking smack too. Like, I'm getting ready to whoop your ass. I'm gonna sweep the floor with you and all this stuff. And dude, we start playing this game. It's you don't need to be a really good golfer to score points, right? So you can get 3 points in every hole. It's first to the green, closest to the hole, and then first one to hole out.
Okay.
And at the beginning of he's whooping my ass, dude. Like at one point he's like 7 points ahead of me, and he's starting to talk trash, and I'm like, fuck me, right? And so on hole number, because we were only able to play 9 because of it's getting darker earlier.
Yeah.
And on hole number 8, I do a sweep. It's like 3 points. So next hole, he misses, or no, I go. He chunks his shot. So I'm like, I'm still alive, right? So there's 2 holes left, and if he scores a point, I'm done. There's no way I can catch him. So I hit my ball, and it just starts leaking right, and I'm like, you son of a bitch! Like, it hits this tree, and it falls like in the middle of the green. and so I'm like celebrating. I'm like, yeah! And then
you fucking lucky bastard.
He overshoots his shot, so I'm closer to the green, so I get the second point. So he putts, and he leaves it about 3 feet. So I'm like, shit. All right, so I can either putt and leave it, as long as I leave it halfway of the distance, I'm still the furthest, so I still get a second shot. And I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm just gonna hole it. So I get a 10-footer birdie. So I do another sweep, and I'm like, yeah. So the game is tied at 12 points or something like that. So I start trash talking again. I'm like, after 8 intense rounds or holes of golf, like Zumi takes the lead. He's about to.
You start doing the greatest comeback ever speech.
Yes. I'm about to hit my first hole-in-one ever.
I'm about to Tom Brady this shit.
Dude, I hit this shot, and I swear to God, I hit it so fucking good that I overshot. And I'm like, so Steve now is going like, yeah, there's a chance. So he hits his ball, and I swear to God, he had to have, it was like the fucking shot of his life. He almost got a hole-in-one.
What is he, like 5 feet away?
No, he was like a foot and a half.
He hit the flag.
So from his ball landed like 10 inches from the hole, and then it spun back a little bit. So it got him like a foot and a half, like birdie putt. And I'm like, oh shit, like, okay, if I get closest to the hole, or if I hole out, I win. And then I go and examine my ball, and I'm like, there's no fucking way. So he beats me, right? I'm like, yeah, it's fun. And I'm like, no more fucking pointers for you, old man. Like, I'm not gonna fix your swing anymore. So he's not saying anything, right? He's just like, oh, good game, yeah. Next day morning, he comes in, and he leaves me these granola bars from Trader Joe's that I really like. And he's like, hey, Zumi, so I left you those, I bought you some granola bars. That way you can have something to, as a consolation for the whoop ass that I gave you. And I'm like, oh, so it begins. So my coworkers come in, and they're like, oh, wait a minute, who won? And I'm just like, so he's trash talking, and everybody's saying like, yeah, he was trash talking at Jenga too. And then Steve comes, like, he goes to the restroom, and he comes back, and he's like, hey, Robert, did you see this? And I look around, and I'm like, what? This is my victory dance. Dude, all fucking day. Like, it was just like, I'm like, yeah, trash talking is not my best strategy. Like, I might switch it. So that was my little adventure for Wednesday.
So you got bullied.
I sort of got bullied, but yeah.
I'm okay with it. I think it's good for you. It's good for your health.
It's a good thing, because next time I'm just gonna say, like, you're such an amazing player. Good shot. You'll get it next time.
And then just have a shit-eating grin when you win.
Yeah. I'm just gonna have a smirk. Not even gonna say anything. But, man, that fucking shut me up, dude.
We all need it sometimes.
I couldn't Jenga, and I couldn't golf.
See, I don't do a lot of trash talking unless I know I can win. I know it's kind of chicken shit, but it's. I just don't want to be a jackass.
I thought that's what I was doing. Like, I'm like, I can beat two women at Jenga.
and the universe basically kicked you in the nuts.
Yeah, they just went like, nope, not today. Oh. Not today.
Well, I gotta tell you this, because this shit's bugging me. Like, I'm in U.S. government right now in school.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously when you do any type of, political discussion, there's going to be, some polarization in the discussions, right?
Yep.
There's going to be people that don't agree. There's going to be people that probably fight, over stupid shit, right? I have to say, the most upsetting thing to me is people that don't follow directions. Here, I'll say this. There is a direct correlation between the people who just repeat what they see on the news and people that don't read directions. They're the same person. They don't use their brain. And I'm not trying to piss anybody off, but my basic statement is, stop fucking watching the news, learn how to think for yourself, and research stuff. Seriously, it's not that hard. And the more amazing thing to me is how much of the Constitution of the United States people don't know. Like, I don't even know if it's required anymore. Do you go through grade school not learning about the Constitution?
I don't know. I didn't go to school in the States, remember?
Well, that's fair. But I have to let me get the discussion post. There's a okay. Let me get it up for you here. Yeah, that's kind of sounded gross.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say, like, wait.
Okay, basically,
at least buy me dinner first. Shit.
What our instructor asked us to do was answer a question and to give references for a current situation, within the year that correlates with our answer, right?
Please tell me people didn't pick up the Vegas incident.
No. In fact, I haven't seen anybody. No, but the question wasn't in, like, let me see. I'll find it here. Let me see. I got that one.
Which, by the way, speaking of the Vegas thing, like, while you're looking at, so one of my coworkers, her husband actually works and is friends with one of the guys that got shot.
Really? Yeah.
So he's as far as I know, he's still in the hospital, and I don't know if he's still in critical condition, but they did open a Patreon account, and I'll put a link in our site. So if you guys want to help out, then you can fund him. I think so far they had like 15 grand so far.
That's not bad.
But it's for, it's like I said, it's going to be for the hospital bills and most of this stuff. And they were actually on the news. And so I guess the bullet hit him like right, like in the spine through his intestines, and it came out of his leg.
Ouch. So it tumbled.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was with another friend, and he got shot in the neck, like from the guy that got shot in the neck. We don't know anything, but it's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
So like I said, so if you guys, donate like $1 or $2, there will be a Patreon account link in our Facebook site.
Yep. And I'll put it up on the website as well. Okay, so here's the question that the instructor poses. She asks, should the government ever be able to interfere with an American's free exercise of religion? If so, when and why? And use current examples to support your opinions. Now, most of the answers were, what would you think they would be?
No,
right? But the problem is that people aren't reading the question. Now, the question is, should the government ever be able to interfere with an American's free exercise of religion? What does the First Amendment state? I mean, here, I'll give you what my answer was. And I was like, I think one of 2 people that answered yes.
Okay.
But with a note. My answer was yes, because interfering is not the same as passing or creating a law. The First Amendment of the Constitution clearly states that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So it says that Congress can't pass legislation
right.
that limits certain religions. Now, the stipulation, though, is if you're doing something that is considered against the law, it doesn't matter if it's religious or not. Like, okay, we'll just say something like, my example that I gave was the incident where that guy had beheaded his female coworker because she disrespected him. And he stated in the Quran that if a woman disrespects you, you are allowed to behead her.
Right.
Or stone her. And so my second part of my answer was, if our government were to create a law prohibiting prayer in town hall, it would be in violation of the First Amendment. It's that simple, right?
Right.
However, enforcing existing law on something like beheading a female coworker because it follows one man's religion is constitutional. Interfering for the purpose of protecting lives and punishing those who commit atrocious acts such as this are constitutional. The laws against murder and cruel and unusual punishment already existed.
So how do people respond to that?
Nobody has responded to my question or to my answer. And I gave my references down at the bottom in APA format and all that stuff. I gave all my stuff exactly like she asks. I am one of 3 people who had a proper response to her question. And people are now pissed at the instructor because they didn't get a point for their answers.
Right.
And their answers are basically like, no, they should never. The Constitution clearly states that you can't interfere with people. No, that's not what it says. And another person had made the, let me see if I got it. Oh, okay. This person says the only time I think the government should be able to interfere with an American's free exercise of religion is in public schools. What? He says, I only say this because if you're able to just freely pray openly in schools or anything else that your religion has you doing, he's very articulate, by the way, it could turn into a bunch of people hating on someone else's religion and could turn into multiple fights in schools and things like that. Maybe if your teacher found out what you believe in or something, they could grow to dislike you and that could affect your grades. That was his answer. Because you don't want to offend people. Because if you offend people, somehow they have the right to start a fight with you.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty leftist answer.
And this answer pissed me off a bit because of his presumptuous nature in his answer. That allowing kids to pray openly in school is automatically something that deserves hate. And I said, I don't necessarily understand why it would lead to others hating any certain religion. That seems like the fault would lie with those harboring disdain. I feel that as long as certain religious practices are performed within the guidelines of school rules and with that of the legislation of the United States, it should absolutely be allowed. Banning or discouraging religious acts because of the possibility of offending someone doesn't fall within the letter of writ within the Constitution. It's just, and I noticed something and my point is that going through this class, like I've said, I've noticed that so many people refuse to think for themselves. And anything that they do say is just, it's like I'm listening to a bad version of an SNL skit or I know, and it's so bad. And the other thing that pisses me off, and I've talked to you about this before, is how stupid people seem to be. Like when okay, if you're asked a question and you're told to reference it. And I don't even think that, 5 people reference their answers. And then you have the basic, grammar rules. And apparently nobody knows how to spell, even though the before you post, they have a spell check on your posts, and people just ignore it and post. It's incredible to me. How do these people get through life?
Well,
I'm sorry.
Is that a rhetorical question?
I guess. Yeah, because I think it just really bothers me because nobody wants to have their own ideas anymore because it takes too much work. So that's my basic idea.
That's your rant.
That's my rant.
Let's take a quick piss break, and because I actually have something related to that.
Okay. All right, we'll be back. And we're back. So, anyway, that was my rant. You have anything to say about it?
Well, no, I mean, it was one of those things where, oh man, I think it's too early though. Well, the whole thing with like gun control, right? Like immediately after this whole Vegas incident happened, all of these people like started posting shit about, oh, we should have more gun regulations, and this why are we using like, 100 years old laws for and not, and why are we like have new rules for modern weapons and all that shit? And it's just like the need of people to, I don't even know how to say it, Lonnie. Like, it's just like, it seems that all of the liberal or the left arguments are only based on how they feel about it in the moment. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, and like, I know, like I mean, it's no secret. I follow Ben Shapiro.
Yeah. And
his argument is always, it has been this, like, okay, like the way the left comes like all the time is that if you don't agree with their policies, then you're the bad guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, automatically, yes.
Yeah, so if I don't agree with you that on your stupid argument that we should have more gun regulations or whatever, gun control regulations.
Yeah, then you're automatically the problem.
Yeah, then I'm a bad person. I don't care about those people that died in Vegas. And it's one of those things like, well, okay, yeah, you're making this big fuss about banning guns and all that shit. And it's like, well, how come you're not banning trucks?
Yeah.
Because, one of the last mass killings was done with a truck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why are we suing the people that make hammers? It's just, I don't know. It seems so fucking stupid. And like, I was like this close. Like, I go on Facebook and I was like this close of just like eliminating people. Because they're always like, oh yeah, I felt like I should share this one. Oh, I'm pray for Las Vegas. And I'm like, no, motherfucker, don't pray for them. Like do something like this. Like, send money to the Patreon account. Like, I thought it was such fucking bullshit when they did this whole thing about, for the 58 that died, we're gonna hold 58 seconds of silence in this Vegas concert. I'm like, no, dude. Like, you should be like, for the 58 that died, we're gonna, all the money was collected here, we're gonna send a percentage to the families. Well, it's like, well, why don't you do that? Like,
the one of the amazing things about it, like right afterwards, was people were saying, well, we need to ban assault or automatic weapons.
And I'm like, they're been illegal.
Already banned.
Yeah, since 1986. I was 1.
Okay, now I'm looking right now at the current death toll from January 1st of this year till right now. And on this website, which I can send you a link for it if you want, basically what it's doing is it's giving you real-time statistics of deaths in America, and it'll show you what someone just died from at the announcement of the official time of their death, right? Can you guess what the top one is?
I don't know. Tuberculosis?
No. Abortion.
Abortion is number 1?
Yes. Now, they do have spontaneous combustion down at the bottom, and it's at 0. Because it's that's a thing. That's a real thing. Yes.
Yeah. Does this still happen though?
Yeah. Yes, it does, but we just don't know why. It could be. I mean, there's scientists that have had theories and everything, but nobody has conclusive like this is why. But the next one up is struck by lightning. 64 this year have died by being struck by lightning. Now, if you go to murder by gun, 9,033 this year. the next thing up from murder by gun is prescription drug overdose at 11,790. The one that scares the shit out of me is medical errors. This one is one that every single person listening to this needs to be concerned about because it does affect you anytime you go to the doctor. This could be anything from having an accident during surgery, or a doctor coming in and giving you the wrong shot, the wrong medication, or mixing medication and not knowing the side effects, when it, with another drug.
Right.
Medical errors this year, 197,641 people have died. Holy shit.
Dude.
Obesity is the next one up from that at 241,300.
Fucking A, dude.
Now, it's not just from being fat. Obesity is the cause of a bunch of other problems.
Right. It's like, I'm thinking it has your diabetes and all that, right?
Yeah, like someone just died of heart disease. Like, it shows the real-time data. But, dude, if people were so concerned about these things, like if they were genuinely concerned about these things, murder by gun, people getting shot, why is there never an uproar about Chicago?
Yeah.
Why is there never people storming the streets in protest about the gang violence in New York and Los Angeles? Seriously. And what I have talked about on this podcast before is the virtue signaling. People wanting to be part of something.
Yep. The next civil rights movement.
Yes. And people want to be a part of something. They want to raise their hand and say, I did that. Let me give people out there a hint. When you do something good, don't go around telling people. When you're doing something that you think is right, you don't have to tell other people that you're doing it. Say, oh yes, I donated this much to charity last year. Great. Now I think you're an asshole because you got to tell everybody about it.
Yeah.
If you're really that concerned, do your research and find out what is actually the problem. And it's not guns. Because I hate to tell people, guns don't kill people. People kill people. And in fact, the people using guns to kill people, it sucks, and there shouldn't be one. But the fact is it's such a small amount compared to all the other problems that we have in this country.
Yeah.
Taking away all of our guns will not solve the problem.
Which, I don't know. I was telling my dad this the other day, Lonnie, that, I'm usually conservative, right? But I'm very liberal about stuff. And it seems to me that the conservative thing, or one of my, I didn't think that one of my liberal thoughts was going to be an actual conservative trade.
Yeah.
So, for example, the right to bear arms, right? Yeah. You would think that somebody that's liberal is going to be like, no, the more guns that I have, the merrier, right? That's my freedom. That's my right. Yeah. And it turns out that no, liberals want limitations on guns.
Yeah.
Doesn't it seem funny that to you? Like,
it does if you take the literal definition of what liberal is. And yes. That's why I don't think it's fair to label them as liberal. Just like I don't think it's fair to label a lot of conservatives as conservative. Basically, the idea is that conservative, you're more not absolute, but you're more of like the letter of the law. Like, what does the Constitution and legislation say? And you don't bend from that, right?
Right.
It was written specifically in a certain fashion so that it would be read specifically. That's how conservatives think. So like when it says you have the right to bear arms, nowhere in there does it say, but you can't have automatic weapons, but you can't have a hunting rifle, but you can't have a bazooka. Now, you and I would say, okay, there's probably no real reason why someone should have, let's say, an M60. Unless you're in a militia and that's part of your job, right?
Right.
Or you're in the military.
Well,
you know,
see, that's like I said, I'm very liberal about guns. Like, I think if you're able to own a tank, you should be able to.
Yes, and that's how I feel.
And that's the thing. Like, let's say guns are out of the equation. Where back in the day, we just have bows and arrows.
You would still have the issue.
You will still have the same issue. So I guess what I'm saying is that it as far as like I can see the argument that they say like about modern weapons and all that stuff, and
it makes it easier.
But to the point where you say like, well, let's say this. Let's say that Vegas was like Texas.
Yeah.
Where most Texans will have their concealed weapons, right?
Yep.
How many people do you think will be actually running, and how many people will actually trying to spot the motherfucker and shoot back at him?
There would be a few at the minimum. There would be a few people shooting back at the guy.
So, in the greatest words of Quentin Tarantino and True Romance with Christian Slater, better have a gun and not need it than a needed gun and not have it.
Yeah. And did you see how long it took the police officers to get there? Have you seen that shit?
No.
The response time?
It
was something crazy like 60 minutes.
I didn't get into it.
It was almost an hour or something like that. What? Well, anyway, we could get into that, but then I think that's something more suited towards when we have Doug on. Because he'll get into this stuff and he'll blow your mind. Because the problem, like I've said before, if you have an opinion, that's great. Everybody's allowed to have an opinion. And if you feel strongly about guns, I'm not going to hate you because you think that all guns should be banned.
Yeah, but don't come and tell me that, I'm wrong and I'm a piece of shit.
Or think that I'm just as bad as that jackass.
Or that I don't care, because it's not.
No, I think this is fucking terrible. I think that people like that need to be put down. Honestly. But, not the person that, has the opinion. I'm talking about that guy, I'm not even going to say his name, the shooter. Guys like that need to be put down. But if you're going to have an opinion, at least research your opinion so that you can have an educated opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this stems back to school and everything. And I understand that it's a lot of young people that haven't had fully formed ideas yet. And that's fine. I'm not going to be mad at these people. I'm just going to be disappointed. It's
that's
just
even worse.
I guess it is, but I just wish that people would do more research, real research. Do research outside of your normal, like, biased news media. Do research, like, if you watch Fox News, go read MSNBC, go read Daily Mail, and find the holes in everything. That's part of what your responsibility is as an American citizen, is to find out what's going on, because this country is not run, even though it seems like it is not run by the politicians. They are supposed to be doing what we tell them to do. It's the famous line from V for Vendetta, right?
Yep.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people. And it was like that in the 1800s, I can tell you that. If a mayor was not doing what the people of that town were telling him to do, he either got kicked out of office, like physically, or hanged.
Yep.
And we've just kind of steered away from that kind of mentality. I don't think we should go and hang some of these people, but you know what? If you want to get them out, go vote. Californians, I'm talking to you. If you want to change how your state is, you all have to go out and vote. Do you know what the percentage was of people that voted in this country for the presidential election?
I don't know, like 20%?
15.
Okay.
Holy shit, dude. Get out and vote.
I actually, I think I'm going to vote for the first time in California.
Good.
You know why?
Why?
Because
Marijuana?
Ben Shapiro has been toying with the idea of running for president.
I'd be okay with it.
I would definitely vote for him.
What do you mean, in this next election cycle? Or
Yep. Well, 2020, or 2024, he's been playing with that idea.
2024?
Yeah.
So like after, like you would, if assuming that Trump gets 2 terms, then
Yes.
after his term. Okay. You know what? And I've heard some people say that the best thing that Donald Trump could do right now is abandon the Republican Party and run as an independent. And I thought it was crazy at first, but there's some interesting statistics that go into it. Right now, Trump has guaranteed the approval of 35% of the voters. Guaranteed. Unless now, this is assuming that there's no weird scandal, right? And some crazy thing that he does. So, assuming that there's no big thing, he has guaranteed 35% of the vote. If he runs as an independent, he can do that because he's the incumbent president.
Mm-hmm.
So he won't just go away. Like, nobody can vote him out. Like nobody or the electors, cannot get rid of him because he's the incumbent president for his second term. So that means he would be the strongest independent ever to run. So guaranteed 35% of the vote, he's guaranteed to win.
Oh, God.
Yeah. He's guaranteed to win. Because you can't win without having over 33% in that,
It's crazy, dude. I don't want another 4 years of that guy.
Really?
Really.
What's your problem with him?
What's my problem with him? That he's, it's like I said, he's not a true conservative party representative. He's an author. He's a fucking what you call him?
Oh, you're one of those people that thinks he's a dictator.
No, he's not a dictator. He's what's the
Authoritarian.
word? Authoritarian, yes, which is different than a dictator, right?
How so?
Well, a dictator pretty much kills you if you don't.
I guess. Yeah.
But no, I don't think Trump has the American people in his best, like in his top of the list as like the main interest. I really don't.
What do you think his interest is?
He's probably setting himself up for, the future. So he's probably gonna pass a bunch of bills and write that in a way benefit his business and not necessarily everybody else's business.
But the tax, my argument against that is the new tax bill that he's proposing.
Well, I mean, yeah, you got to do something to police people. You can't just be a complete asshole, right, about stuff. But like I said, it's just I'm not pro Trump. I'm glad that he won because I didn't want Hillary.
Nobody did.
But as far as me like liking all of the stuff that he's doing, no.
Yeah, I guess that's something we can discuss at a later time.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, it's just like I usually defend Trump just because of the stupid arguments that other people have. It's like, oh no, he's doing this and this. Is like, no, he's not, dude. It's just like
that's usually my arguments.
But but as far as like being all for him to have him for another 4 years, like no.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't fall under that spectrum of like having him for far. I don't like that idea.
That's why we make a good pair, Zumi. Yin and yang.
So, but anyways, like on a brighter note,
mm-hmm.
I finally got rid of my phone, my Windows phone.
Thank God.
So I've been toying with the app for quite a couple of weeks now, whether going iOS or going Android. And I gotta be honest, like part of me was like, like my screen is broken. The phone still works, but my phone was doing some crappy ass shit where all of a sudden it would like shut off.
Yeah.
And then when you turn it back on, the battery all of a sudden is showing 15%.
Oh my God.
So I was on the verge. Like, let's say I'm in a cliff, I'm at the edge, and I'm like balancing, right?
Yeah.
And Microsoft came and kicked me so I could fall.
Uh-huh.
Because they decided that they're not going to they just announced a couple of days ago that they're not going to do any more mobile phones.
Because they suck at it?
They're going to support they're going to give support for about a year, I think, and then after that they're done. So
wow.
So Nokia already has Android in them and all that stuff, and so I was thinking about getting an iPhone for a while, but then I found this Sony Xperia, the XZ1 Compact, and I just fell in love with this phone. I got the pink one.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That doesn't really look pink. It's more like an orangey color, but anyways, so it has the new the 8.0 Oreo is what they call it, and so it's pretty fast. But here's the thing, dude. I got the international phone. I bought it from a UK company. Yeah, it's called Clove.co.uk.
Yeah, and
so the American version, if you look for this phone in Amazon, it'll be $600. If you order it from the site, from this UK site, it'll be $573 after the conversion, give or take, right?
Yeah.
And they'll give you a free Bluetooth Sony earphones.
Okay. Does this one have the audio jack?
Yes.
Okay. And I was going to tell you,
and because it's USB 3.0, you don't have to worry about your fucking phone exploding for the charger, for the differential. It's 5 volts. The international version has the fingerprint scan and the power button. The American version doesn't have that. I don't know why.
I don't know. I think it also has to do with their law. Excuse me, their laws that they have over there and their rules and regulations with commerce and stuff. I think that plays a huge factor in the differences, But I was going to tell you, if you were going to go, iPhone, do not go past the 6S until they figure their shit out. Well,
that's too late. I already bought an iPhone 8 for my wife.
It doesn't have an audio jack.
I got her the 8 Plus. Well, no, but they give you a connector that has the jack.
Yes, but it has to plug into
the power. To plug it in. Yes.
And that just bugs the shit out of me.
My wife doesn't use that anyways. Like,
yeah, but I do.
Oh, well, one person.
Oh my God.
No, but anyways, so hear me out. So I ordered my phone, right? And I'm like, I've been talking to my wife since our anniversary, I think, like April, that I wasn't gonna get her the 7, to like wait for the 8.
Yeah.
And I was gonna make it a Christmas present and decided to do it early. So this whole entire time, like she was saying like, "Oh, I got a surprise for you." And I'm like, "Oh, I got one for you too." And she's always like, she doesn't like surprises, so she's always like doing like, "What you get me? What you get me? What you get me?" And she's just like bugs the shit out of me, like, and I always like give in, right? So this time I went like, "No, I'm just gonna like, it's gonna be a true surprise, right?" And so she's asking me like, "What's my surprise?" And I'm like, well, let's just say that with this, you're gonna have to put out. So she's like, "Did you get me an iPhone?" And I'm like, "Yes." And she's like, "Just don't lie to me. Like, don't do that. Like, come on." So she didn't believe me, dude. So yesterday when I came in, we were outside, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go take a leak or whatever, and so she's saying like, oh wait, like before you do that, like come here. So she makes me like close my eyes and play the whole thing, like hold your hands up and stuff. And she bought me 2 polo shirts and a pair of jeans.
Sweet.
And I'm like, yes, like I needed clothes, right? So then I'm like, go outside, and then I'm like, okay, now I gotta go pee. Like, so I grab the iPhone and I put it like right next to our bed, and I go inside or outside, and I say like, you know what? I got a confession. I did something that's unforgivable. She's like, what'd you do? And I'm like, I got you a surprise. And she's just looking at me like, I'm like, yeah, I got you a surprise, and it's hidden somewhere in this house. I'll give you a hint.
Oh my God, I hope it's not a dead body.
It's by where you sleep. So she's looking like under the bed. She's looking under the pillow, the covers, and she's like, Robert, are you like joking with me right now? I'm like, no. So I'm doing the whole like cold, hot type thing. And all of a sudden she's like, I swear to God, if you got me like a fucking dildo or something,
I'm gonna slap you with it.
Oh my God. So she turns around, she on the stand that we have, and she sees, and she's like, oh my God, is that real? And I'm like, I don't know. Why don't you find out? So she's like shaking at this point. And she's like picking it, and then she's like, oh my God, like what the fuck did you do? And she turns it around, and it has like because I got her the 256 gigs.
Holy shit, Zumi.
Because the 6S that I got her, I was only able to afford the 16 at that time, right?
So weak.
Yeah. So, and when I was asking my friends, I'm like, well, if I go with the 64, what do you think? And they were like, well, if you go to 64, that's 3 times more than, or 4 times more than what she already has right now, so it'll be okay. If you go 256, you'll child-proof it. And I'm like, I'm gonna do that then. So she doesn't have to worry about memory.
Yeah.
So she's looking at 256. She's like, oh my God, like, are you serious? She's like crying and stuff, and like, I wanted to surprise you.
Like you did good.
And she's like crying. It's like, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I wish I would have recorded it, but.
But the real question is, did you get any?
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, that's the important thing.
I know.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
She pretty much had to, right?
Yeah, you have to.
You kind of have to, yeah.
I mean, we could start our own podcast on what women have to do in certain situations.
This is so bad. I won't go into the details, but let's just say that this man was a happy man last night.
Well, I'm happy for you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't yell your name, though.
You're such a liar. It's ridiculous. Speaking of phones and all that stuff, I have discovered a new genre of music that I'm incredibly in love with. And it's called synthwave. Have you heard of this shit?
No.
Okay, it's like okay, you watch Stranger Things, right?
Yeah.
The music that's in there is synthwave. So it's like a cross between 80s synthesizer and like modern techno industrial. But most of it is like this really calm type music. And it's got really cool beats and everything, but and a lot of it doesn't have lyrics. It's just, so
it's like trance music.
Yeah, it's pretty close. But dude, this is all I listen to now. It's a lot like that Marconi Union.
Yeah. I was going to say hipsters do that a lot.
I know, but dude, I love it so much because of the 80s feel. It's, I don't know. I'm just in love with it. So now that synthwave.
Okay.
Speaking of which, did you see the new trailer for Stranger Things 2?
Fuck yeah.
Holy
I'm ready for it, dude.
Shit.
I still haven't seen the new It.
I
by the
haven't
way.
either. I'm afraid because
Really?
I still have the childhood stuff in the back of my head,
Oh my god.
and I'm afraid that it's just gonna, ruin me again. I got a thing about clowns, Zumi.
Yeah.
I can't help it. I really have an irrational fear of clowns. I'm not afraid of a lot of things, but that is one thing I'm afraid of.
Fucking clowns.
Dude.
So I got the Halloween costumes ready. I put them on order.
And what are you gonna be?
Okay, so there's a costume contest at work. I think I can win it.
That is so gay.
I know. But this year I think I can win it.
And I'm a nerd?
Yes. So I'm gonna have a P. I think I've told you this before. And a black eye.
Black Eyed Peas?
I want to be a black eyed pea. It's simple. I already have my wife mascara or whatever the fuck you call it, eyeliners, and I just need a fucking t-shirt and draw a giant P in it.
Yeah, it's perfect.
What? It's creative, and once
Yeah,
and when
great,
people
Zumi.
when people see me and they don't get it and they ask me, I'm gonna be like, black eye, and they're gonna get that smirk that you're having on your face right now, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's creative. We value creativity in this company." Point.
Do you remember the one Halloween that you came over just a few years ago?
Yes, I dressed as a Flintstone.
Yep.
Yeah,
It was good too.
yeah, it was a good costume, wasn't it?
Yeah. Do you remember what I dressed as? Because I went with you in your car to try to have it fixed in this costume.
Krusty
Or
the
to
Clown?
pick up your car, rather.
No, I don't remember.
As a woman. As a bald woman.
Oh, that's true. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot about that.
Well, it was because it was a stressful situation for you that night.
You look like a fucking drag queen.
Was I hot?
You're pretty hot.
I have a good butt.
Oh my god.
No, I haven't actually dressed up in a long time. But I always thought I would make a good Dr. Evil.
Yep. Yeah. Or
Yeah,
Master Clean.
Yep. Or Mr. Clean. Or do you know who Telly Savalas is?
No.
I think his name is Kojak. You remember that show? Telly Savalas. Type it in. Oh, you can't.
I can't. My keyboard
All right.
doesn't work.
Here, I'm gonna give you this picture. Let me see. I'll let it go. Copy image location. I'm gonna send this to you on Facebook Messenger. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Now, for all you people out there, if you want to know what I look like, this is what I look like. I'm waiting for Zumi to open it.
Hold on. I gotta go into Facebook.
So yeah, if everybody's wondering about synthwave, you need to go and listen to it, because if you like Stranger Things, you might like this music. I'm not promising anything.
Or if you have any too common sense, like you won't listen to this shit. Oh my god, dude!
You see him?
He looks exactly like you.
I'm just a little better looking. That's all. And a little younger. Is that not me?
No.
Are you sure?
You can dress as Vin Diesel.
I am not dressing as Vin Diesel.
If you dress like Vin Diesel, dude, I think you can win.
Yeah, I'm not jacked.
Unless you guys don't do well, you'll be a fat Vin Diesel.
Oh, so you mean like the later years?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Old Vin Diesel.
Old Vin Diesel.
Now, I gotta ask you: do your kids cough so hard that they throw up?
My oldest has done that.
Why do they do this shit? Is it because they're kids and they just don't know that they can kind of suppress it?
I don't know, dude.
Because like when you and I cough, I've had a really bad cough, but I don't throw up when I cough. You know, but my kids, like they will just hack and hack until something comes up. And then they cry and then they're all upset about it. And I try to explain it to them like, you don't have to do this. You know, you just calm down. Stop pushing so fucking hard. You know?
I will say this, so my niece, she used to do, I don't know if she does it still, but whenever something didn't go her way, she would just start coughing and coughing to the point where she made herself puke.
Ugh.
But it was, like
Why?
I said, it was more of a tantrum than like something that she couldn't control or anything.
See, I don't ever remember being that way, like, as a kid, that I had to do something in order to win. Or to at least gain the attention. You know what I mean? Like you say, she coughed, you know, when she didn't get her way. Is that her version of winning? Why do kids think this way?
So I have a friend. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I went down the Facebook rabbit hole. So this is what I don't know. This is what my friend posted. Today in psychology, I had my students smell several scents, air fresheners from the 99-cent store, to demonstrate that smells can evoke memories. One of my students said that the scent smelled like a Mexican guy that takes your money after you have sex with them. I probably shouldn't have laughed as hard as I did.
Oh my god. Dude.
Wow. That's pretty fucked up.
That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty funny though.
Somebody just died of diabetes. I still have this webpage open. That's not funny.
What? No, that one's not funny.
And there was another abortion. Okay, we're going to close that out before I get depressed.
Yeah, I'm going to close Facebook out. So we're going sideways here. So Lonnie, so I don't know if you've seen this, but there's a couple of video of comedians doing like a dad joke battle.
Yeah, it's the black guys, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
What had everything had to be black and white with you?
Oh, because they're black?
So I think we should have a dad joke battle.
You don't want to do this with me, Zumi. I'm the dad joke master.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
So I'm gonna Google dad jokes right now, or actually, I'm gonna Bing it.
And you're gonna try not to laugh.
We're gonna do a battle here.
Mm-hmm. Now.
So
are
we're
we
gonna challenge the
points, or is it like whose line is it anyway?
No, we're doing it for
the
real
points. Don't matter. Oh, real points. Okay. All right. Oh, let me go ahead and stretch here so that I can beat your ass. Are you ready? I'm waiting. The audience is waiting, Zumi.
Hold on. Like I gotta find my list of dad jokes. I don't know.
You are the fucking director, and you're not prepared?
No, I'm not prepared. Are you prepared?
I am absolutely prepared.
No, because you already know like a shitload of dad jokes, don't you?
Yeah, because I'm the quintessential dad.
Oh,
I'm a hard ass. I make people do shit. I have a deep voice. I can do the dad whistle. I wear plaid shorts. I mean, I got the whole thing going, dude. So you got your stuff? Or are you trying to find stuff good enough to try to break me?
I'm trying to find a list of dad jokes. They're all videos.
Well, just type in list in your search. Fucking amateur.
I can't. My keyboard doesn't work. The L doesn't show up.
Use your phone. You don't have your virtual keyboard?
I don't know how to access. I don't know how to access that thing. I tried. I asked my brother, and he didn't tell me. Sorry, dude.
Good rookie. Now.
Okay, here we go. So I have a list here. Hopefully, it's not the same list as yours, but.
Okay, I'm ready. Do you want to start?
Hold on. I need absolute silence here.
Okay. I'm ready. Ladies first.
All right, so I guess the challenge for the audience is not to laugh so hard in your fucking cubicles, I guess. Disclaimer. Don't make myself responsible for this.
Don't
You
be
ready?
drinking milk. Go.
Don't be drinking milk. That's not a dad joke, and it's funny.
That's because I'm good at it.
Fuck, dude. I don't think I can do this. All right,
That's
hold
because you're going to lose. Go ahead.
Shit. Oh, man. Me and my dumb ideas. Okay, what time did the man go to the dentist?
When?
2:30.
Oh my god.
No?
Not gonna do it. Not gonna laugh. My wife accused me of hating her family and relatives. You know what I said?
What?
Said, no, I don't hate your relatives. In fact, I like your mother-in-law a lot better than I like mine.
Almost. A ham sandwich walks into the bar and orders a beer. Bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve food here."
Hang on. Hold on. I have to compose myself. Hold on. Oh, God. My thing closed. Just give me a second. Hold on. My stuff is going to come up here. You know, my friend, he kept on saying to me the other day, cheer up, man. It could be worse. You could be stuck in underground in a hole full of water. I know he means well.
No.
It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
How do you make a Kleenex dance?
How do you make a Kleenex stand?
Dance.
Dance. Okay. How?
Put a little boogie in it.
Oh my God. No. I'm not going to do it, Zumi. I told my son that I was named after Thomas Jefferson. You know, obviously he said, but Dad, your name is Brian. Said, I know, but I was named after Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, I get it. Not funny.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck you then.
I used to have a job at a calendar factory, but I got the sack because I took a couple days off.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Not getting you? Not even a chuckle?
How do locomotives know where they're going?
How?
Lots of training.
Ah, fuck. Okay, so that's 1-0. Wait, how do you make holy water?
How?
You boil the hell out of it.
Oh my God. You're such a dick. All right. Asshole.
1-1.
You know, I think I want to quit my job. I'd
Why?
rather clean mirrors for a living. It's just something I could see myself doing.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Yes.
I could see
Yes.
myself doing it. I'm ready.
Hold on. I had a dream that I was a muffler last night. I woke up exhausted.
That's good. It's a good one. Mountains aren't just funny. They're hill areas.
That's not even funny. How do you tell the difference between a frog and a horny toad?
How?
A frog says rivet, rivet. A horny toad says rub it, rub it.
Fuck you. How many South Americans does it take to change a light bulb?
How many?
A Brazilian. Nothing? Not even a
almost,
titter?
almost. What is Beethoven's favorite fruit?
What?
Banana. 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 Come on, give it to me, Lonnie.
Okay, I'll give you that one because I'm holding it in. Banana. What? What was it? Okay. What cheese is always by itself?
I don't know.
Provolone. Damn it. That was one of my best ones. Oh, I got a good one for you. Go ahead. Last one.
A three-legged dog walks into a bar and says to the bartender, "I'm looking for the man who shot my paw."
Shit. That's terrible.
That's pretty good, though.
Did you hear about the cheese factory in France that exploded? It was horrible. There was nothing left but debris. So was that 3-2 you?
I think so.
All right. And
What?
guess who trash talked you and lost?
Hey, what's Forrest Gump's password?
What?
1 Forrest 1.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let me see if I'm looking at this one, guys. Let me see. How do you find Will Smith in the snow?
How?
You look for the Fresh Prince.
Aw, that's cute.
Good one. That's cute. We should do this on video next time.
I know. I think it'll be harder to hold. Dude, fucking dad jokes are so stupid, though.
Maybe we should do it, when we come down for Disneyland. Like I said before, we should do this special episode.
Yeah.
And do like a little video thing to put up on the website. We could have our little dad joke battle at one of the sites at Disneyland.
That'd be pretty cool.
We'll get the ladies involved. And Anna could do hers in Spanish and confuse the hell out of Stelly.
She's gonna be like, I don't even know what you're saying.
Do you know any dad jokes in Spanish?
Yeah. I think so.
That they just wouldn't make sense in English?
No, they don't translate well.
Yeah, it's because of the sound and all that.
Yeah.
Of the word. Okay.
Well, like the Beethoven one will translate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just not debris.
No, not debris. Oh, man.
So where are we at right now? Because we have pretty much covered everything.
We covered everything
on the set.
Well, no, I still have my second part
Yes,
of my story. So,
but I thought I'd let you do it after our little outro and stuff that we do.
I mean, we can call it short.
I miss your well, we don't have to call it short. I'm just saying, I miss your outro monologues like a lot. Like a lot.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't really have one with Shane.
I know.
I wanted him to tell you the story about one of the guys that has a serious man crush on Justin Timberlake.
Is that Shane?
No, it's not Shane. It's one of Shane's friends. Actually, he
Okay.
mentioned it. He mentioned Hal, the guy that was running in the circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has a huge man crush with Justin Timberlake, and he's always giving him shit about it too. And he has some really funny stories about him defending
Now,
Justin Timberlake.
did you get to see Wonder Woman?
No, I haven't seen it. I've seen the honest trailer about it though.
Yeah. Yeah. And you think that that's as good as watching the movie?
Yeah.
That's fair. It was pretty good.
I mean,
Yeah.
I like Gal Gadot, and I think she's fucking hot.
It was much better than Batman. We'll say that.
Which Batman?
You know, Ben Affleck.
Batman.
I mean, Ben Affleck was a good Batman in what the fuck is it? Batman versus Superman or whatever. I mean, he's a good Batman. It's just that, you know.
Did you
it's a
see
shitty movie.
Did you see the Kevin Smith reaction?
I did not.
Oh my god, dude!
Does he tear him a new one?
No. So you know how the whole interview with him and Caviezel was going on about, and they put the sound of silence.
Yeah.
Sound in it on that one interview.
Yeah.
So they show it to Kevin Smith, and when he's saying like, well, it's gotten mixed reviews, yada yada, and then the sound of silence starts like, hello darkness, my old friend, and then it just zooms in into Ben Affleck, and you just see him, he's like zoned out. So Kevin Smith starts crying.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't know if he's like good friends with him or something, but he's just like kind of like, oh my god, like what have they fucking done to you type thing.
Yeah.
It was he almost made me cry when I saw this video. I was like, holy shit. But then, later on, like there's another interview of like Ben Affleck answers, about like his interview or Batman v Superman. He's like, this movie is like, I mean, it's probably taught you some things, like, and he's like, yes, do not stay silent during a whatever interview.
Yeah.
Otherwise they'll make fun of you.
Yeah.
That's what he said. But you could tell he was just like, what the fuck did I get myself into? On that note though, Justice League looks pretty good. And
I'm afraid.
Well, yeah, but they do have that Whedon guy from Firefly directing.
Joss Whedon.
Josh Whedon.
That
yeah.
means somebody's gonna die. It's kind of like George Martin. Someone always dies. Is Sean Bean in this movie?
Well, if he is,
he's gonna die.
He's gonna die.
He didn't die in, what was that movie? National Treasure.
He hasn't died in a couple of movies, but
it does seem to be a staple of his, though.
On the ones that he doesn't die, though, they're not good movies.
You didn't like National Treasure?
Not really.
It was kind of goofy. But I've kind of lost a lot of respect for Nicolas Cage.
He's in that movie, that romantic comedy or something. Serendipity?
I didn't like that movie.
I think he's in that one, isn't he?
I think so. I just didn't like the movie.
Yeah, he doesn't die in that one.
Don't
ask me why I watched that movie. Just
dude, it's okay. The wife forces you, or you just watch it.
No,
things happen.
This was not the wife. It was a female co-pilot.
Oh, one of those. And they're like, oh, you gotta watch this really good movie, and then you watch it, and you're like, oh my god, what am I doing?
I can't believe the shit we did for her. Like we actually went to church for her.
Yeah,
because she sang. We're just like,
Did you burn?
Almost.
Did it hurt?
I'll tell you what, though, she had a really killer voice, though.
Yeah,
I'll give her that. Like the co-pilot could sing.
That was God. I'm trying to think of the. It's a movie that Christelle and I, or two movies rather, that Christelle and I really like. That's, I guess you can consider it a chick flick. Oh, but yeah, it's a chick flick. But I actually like it because I think it's fucking hilarious. Is Pitch Perfect. Have you seen that?
No.
Dude, it's fucking hilarious. You got to watch it. Both of them. Because it's corny as hell, but it knows exactly what it is.
Which one's the other one?
Pitch Perfect 2.
Oh. My God.
No, they're really funny. You got to watch them.
No.
Okay.
You didn't like the Discovery. I'm not gonna watch your stupid fucking movie.
We're still butthurt about that.
Yes, I am.
Well, you know
I,
what?
I give you gold, and you like this is how you repay me.
A Clockwork Orange sucks.
Oh, you take it back.
Oh, I do. I do. I can't do that with a straight face.
Speaking of A Clockwork Orange, have you ever had those thoughts like Alex had in that movie?
In a way, yes. Maybe not to the extreme.
All of a sudden, you're just walking with your friends, and you just want to beat the shit out of.
Yes, but Bill Burr had a whole bit about this, like like acting upon your sick thoughts. Like you see somebody up on a ladder as you're walking on the sidewalk. You never just wanted to go up and shake the ladder, just to fucking do it. It's like I would say that there's something like when you're like standing at the edge of a cliff. Like there's just that little part in your brain that's like, what if I jumped off? Like just because you had the thought, you're not going to do it. It's just like that weird sick portion of your brain, And I will warn people, the older you get, the louder that voice gets.
Oh my god.
The less filter you have with people too. Have you noticed this shit?
Yes, I have, dude, and like it's getting to the point where like at work, I think people have started to notice that I'm like giving some people attitude. I think I got talked to about it a couple of times.
You're like, all right.
But here's the thing though, like when somebody talks to you and because you have been giving people attitude or whatever, and you start telling them why you're giving them attitude, and they agree with the stuff that you're saying,
yeah,
then why is my attitude an issue?
I think it's because rudeness is not allowed in the workplace.
I'm like, why am I the one being talked to and not these other people that are fucking up?
Yeah, it's the same rule that applies for like how come those people that are always fuck ups end up being the people that keep their jobs.
Yeah.
And that one guy that works his ass off and makes a couple of mistakes ends up being the one that gets fired instead of the lazy guy.
Yeah.
It's because you have a different microscope on you. I think that's all it is. I'm serious. I think it's because, they weren't looking at you, so they didn't expect you to do anything wrong. You know what I mean? So when you do something wrong, it's a bigger issue. Even though it shouldn't be. I don't agree that it should be. But I think it's just one of those things, like if you're lazy, management and stuff like that, they're always going to be looking at you. So when you screw up, they kind of expect it, and they talk to you,
Well, see, I'll tell you what, like, one of the things that I got talked to was, like, instead of sending emails, that maybe, like, a quick phone call would be probably better. And my answer to that was, like, well, no, the reason why I'm, like, because I don't like calling people is because I have no record of that conversation.
Yep.
And I'm like, people can change their minds or can then interpret a phone conversation the way they want to. And I was like, I've been in the military I was in the military long enough to know that whenever they say about, being or finding something, it's never the leadership, it's never the upper ranking, the ones that get slapped on their hands slapped. No, it's the guy in the bottom.
Yep. Shit rolls downhill.
Yeah. And it's, you might get a butt shoot. I'm going to get the consequences of that butt shoot. So, no.
Well, one of the reasons that I like emailing better than doing the phone call, like you say, it's for having the record, right? But it's also for the specificity that I can put in an email. It is much easier to lay out an outline of everything that you need or everything that you're trying to understand or whatever it is. It's much easier to put that in words on an email than it is to say, okay, I need you to write this down.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I need you to remember this. Because I can't count on someone else, being as thorough as I'm going to be in telling them something.
Yep.
So I think it's better, yes, phone calls are good for some things, but I'm sorry, it's not good for giving instruction. It's not good for, when you need something to be done in a certain fashion. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for meetings. If people aren't taking notes in the meetings that you're giving for something that you need them to do, you're doing something wrong.
Yep.
So, well, that was a little lesson.
I know, but but the filters are definitely growing slimmer.
Yes, they are. I've noticed that sarcasm has always been my second language, right? And I've
What are
told
you
people
talking about?
No, I don't understand what you mean at all. But I've already been one of those people. I'll always tell people, I'm an asshole. So if I end up being rude to you, just let me know, and I'll change the way that I, approach the situation or whatever it is. But don't think that I'm just trying to be mean. I'm just, I'm direct when I need something done, or if you need something done from me and I need answers. I just want the core of the conversation. I don't need all the extra bullshit.
Yeah.
Just tell me what needs to be done. Don't tell me how you feel about it. But because of that, the older I get, my sarcasm starts to come out, or my asshole Lonnie starts to come out, right? And when people are like, they'll ask me to do something and let's just say it's already done. I'll be really direct about it now. Be like, I already did that. And then when people question the things that I do, especially at work, if someone says, are you sure you did that? It's like, motherfucker, yes. And it's worse with coworkers, and I have to be careful because I really don't mean to be an asshole. It's just my brain is playing it out in a certain way, and I just speak it instead of thinking it, filtering, and then saying what I need to say. I hope it doesn't get much worse. I really don't, because it could really get me into trouble.
It'll probably get worse.
Probably. I'm going to be one of those old men at the retirement home that's just grumpy as shit because the nurse brought me vanilla pudding instead of chocolate pudding. Be like, this dumb hoe brought me vanilla pudding. How hard is your job? No.
Oh my God, dude.
Oh, I can't do that. I feel too bad for people in service positions because I used to be in a service position. No, just can't do it. But well, anyway, did you want to end it there?
Yeah, let's end it there. I mean, I know it's a little dry. I mean, compared to last episode.
Hey, it's bound to happen.
Oh, so, dude, I am like right now. I'm like fucking. I was tripping balls last night.
Sweet.
So after, or maybe during, I can't remember.
Is this like the cause of some type of
let's just
substance?
Let's just say that those kind of like those fruit roll-ups things were involved.
Oh, okay.
And
all
they
right.
hit me like a fucking freight train, dude. I have never puked. I
did
puked.
you get like vertigo?
Yes. I puked, and when I woke up this morning, I was still like tripping balls. And
isn't that the worst?
Yes, and my wife got it where like she was like, I didn't know that weed acted as a fucking hallucinogen for some people. Like, yeah. She said she was hallucinating, and she's like, I did not like it at all, and she's like, I'm never again.
Yeah, and I actually think that the hybrid stuff or the edibles, it's actually a good thing that it does that to certain people because it kind of shows you your limits.
Yeah.
You know,
So
take a
I'm,
nibble.
yeah. So I'm like, yeah, it's not for me. Not for me. I won't. I definitely won't do those fruit roll-up things anymore.
Hey, you got to do it to know, right?
Yeah. I'll smoke like every once in a blue moon or whatever, but I had to try them because it's like, now you can buy them and stuff. So
Yep. Isn't that weird?
it is weird.
I still find it odd because I've grown up in this world where, the thought of having a weed shop was ridiculous. It's like, why do we need a weed shop? That's what we have dealers for. Did I tell you about the weed shops here? Because
Yes.
I had this brilliant idea of, I said, well, you still need dealers, right? Because what if you're super baked already and you want some more, but you can't go out and drive, so the guy's got to come to you, and someone tells me, dude, these places deliver. I'm like, what?
Oh my god.
They're like, yeah, it's like a pizza place. Like they send a person out to your home and you tip them. And
they fucking DoorDash it.
yes. I'm like, oh, well, shit. They've thought of everything. I mean, that's a genius idea, right? It's like,
hey,
we need drivers.
They have an Uber driver on call, so if you want to stop by,
why not?
Or we can DoorDash it to you.
I mean, what would you call it?
Oh man. Oh man, that's funny. That is funny. No, but yeah, so I'm done with that shit, by the way. Like, I got it out of my system now, so it's just, I had to do it. I had to do it once in my life at least, right?
How do you cleanse? Do you use olive oil, cranberry juice?
No, I don't cleanse.
Or you just do it naturally, you air dry?
I just air dry it. It takes about 2 weeks, I think, to get out of your system.
I wouldn't know. I don't partake.
Well, like I said, on heavy users, it's where it takes like the 6 months or whatever.
Yeah, I heard about some shit where they're thinking about doing the hair follicle tests and blood tests now for employment.
For like government places or something.
Now, I don't think that because I don't think.
Well, you gotta remember too that California is very liberal. So when you do your initial interview, that's when they drug test you. But after you get the job, like, I don't think there's very few companies that actually will drug test you. Like,
well, I live in a liberal state, and they, at my job and most of the other places around this area, they are still drug testing for marijuana.
Like random tests?
Yep.
Oh.
Like, but why? Because it's completely legal. Completely legal. Now, I get it for drivers and stuff, but I think that you should have, I'm not trying to put my ideas out there. If anybody's listening that I work with, you could test me right now. I don't smoke. I don't partake. It's fine. But for let's just say like a bus driver, I think it should be like alcohol. Like, you should have a time limit. Like, if you get off of work on a Friday, I don't see what's wrong with taking it. Not getting blasted, not torched, but being able to come into work.
Yeah, but
function.
even then, like, I think it's a big liability issue though for companies. I'm
sure it is, and I understand that. It's got to be a really difficult thing to measure too, because I know that you don't have just a breathalyzer for that. You can't just go and get blood tested and them know whether or not you're still intoxicated.
Yeah.
Because you could have THC in your system and you're fine. You know what I mean? So it's
or you could be like me this morning and was tripping balls still. Yep. Like.
And I understand you just kind of, you can't have that in the workplace, especially when there's other people being transported around. Yeah, I get it. But maybe one day they'll come up with a system. You have to have 48 hours or something like that.
48 hours.
Anyway. Yeah. Well, this was one of our more laid back episodes.
Yeah. Well, just wait for my story. I think you'll like it. That's pretty funny.
I'll be ready.
All right.
This episode of the Nothing Better to Listen To podcast can be downloaded on iTunes, Google Play, or directly from shoutengine.com. You can go to our YouTube channel and listen to our episodes there. Just type in NBTLT into the search bar and you'll find us. Click the subscribe button and you'll get every single one of our new episodes and old episodes. Be sure to leave us a comment or a review on any of these forums, whether you enjoyed the episode or if you have something to say. Our bumper music is provided by bensound.com. You can see us on Facebook, talk to us on Twitter at NBTLT Podcast, or send us an email with your questions or comments at mail@nbtltpodcast.com and at our Reddit site at reddit.com/r/NBTLT. Go ahead, Zoom.
So
fire away.
So you know the president of Mexico is a fucking moron, right?
You've told me as much.
So he's like the W of Mexico, or
Okay.
the W of the state. Sorry,
George.
Yeah, George Bush was not the best public speaker out there, right? He would always like say stupid shit.
You're being really kind right now.
I know. So, anyways, so Peña Nieto is kind of a dumb fuck as well. So this is the guy that they asked him, what was the last 2 books that he read, and he said he couldn't remember the title of them, but they were good books.
Were they coloring books?
So anyways, so he does this thing like I don't know if you heard, but there was an earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yesterday.
Well, not yesterday, but I think it was on the September 19th.
Oh, you mean the one that
killed
a bunch of people in Mexico City?
Yes, the same. It was like on the same date of like, the year that I was born. Like, so
it's creepy.
I think you know this, right? My middle name is based out of that incident.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's funny that it occurred on the same day.
Yeah.
So anyways,
You son of a bitch, you prophetic bastard.
After that, there was another one in Oaxaca. And so the president's going to Oaxaca to, show his face and do whatever the fucking morons do. But anyways, they're in an interview and he's in the airplane, right? And on the clip, it just says this: the guy saying like, "We're about 5 minutes from landing," and then he turns to the side and he's like, "Oh no, less like a minute." So.
Oh my god.
So there's been a shitload of fucking memes going about like, it's like an iPhone. They'll say like it's $50. No, less, like $1,000. Right? So there's been going this whole fucking memes about this thing, and it's important in my story. So that being said, so Zumi decides that this is the day after we recorded with Shane. I told my kids I'm gonna take you to a park. It's a really cool park that your dad used to go when he was a kid. It's called La Cuenca Lechera, which is here in Baja they have Jersey. It's the brand.
Yeah.
So they do orange juice and they do milk and lactose products.
Okay.
So it's right next to the Jersey company. So they have a cow farm, so you can feed the cows for free, cool. Right? And then right next to it, there's a park, and they have like your traditional swings and slides and all that stuff, and you can have a picnic there, and right?
Sure.
So I call my compadres, which is I baptized their daughter, my wife and I. So I'm the godfather of their daughter, and I'm like, hey, let's go to this place. It's south, so it's like a 30-minute drive, and the kids can just run around and feed cows, and we can go like on a mini hike and whatever. And I'm like, okay. So we start driving, right? And it's been a couple of years since the last time I went. Like, I'm talking, I was in high school, I think.
Oh boy, that's more than a few years.
So I'm like, all right, the kids are gonna enjoy themselves. Like we had the cooler, we had sandwiches, and and the rancheritos and all that stuff.
Of course, got to have the rancheritos.
So we go there, and I see a sign that says park is closed.
Oh.
And I'm like, all right.
You got Griswolded.
So I go in, and you know, the guy at the because it's like a private section, right? So that you have a guy with a lift saying, who are you gonna go see? And I'm like, we actually wanted to go to the park. And he's like, oh no, the park is closed. It's been closed for like 4 years.
Oh.
So I'm like, what the fuck? 4 years? What are you talking about? It's like, oh no, yeah, the owner died, and the kids just left it to. They didn't take care of it, so it everything was like rotten, just like weed growing everywhere. So the mom came over and saw this, and she's like, what the fuck? And so they're remodeling it. It's not gonna be open for another like 4 or 6 months. So I'm like, but it's gonna be open soon. It's like, yeah, but it's been closed for 4 years. I'm like, fuck. So after that, dude, like we turn around, and I tell my compadre, like, hey, it's closed. It's been closed for a while. So my comadre, dude, she starts bullying the shit out of me with this whole Peña thing. And he's like, yo, Robert, like, you're about a year late. No, less. About 4. I'm like, oh my God.
Like, here we go.
Yeah, so we're trying to find out like another place to go. We ended up in TJ in this park, and dude, I did not hear the fucking end of this. So, you're a little late. like 4 years late. Like, I thought you said you hadn't been there in a while, but we didn't think about, like, you know, it being decades and shit.
It's brutal. Dude, it's absolutely brutal.
Trust me, like the amount of bullying that she was doing it's a lot worse in Spanish. Like, I'm sugarcoating it right now. but her main joke was the Peña one. It's like, been closed for about a year. No less. About 4. About 4.
Do you remember Bush and all of his little sayings? Like all the little phrases and shit.
I remember too, because I have two of my favorites is the one where he's like, you know what to say, fool me once and shame on you.
Yeah.
Fool me because you're not going to be able to fool me again. And then the other one is where they're doing that interview after they beheaded that one guy, the reporter.
Yeah.
And he was just saying like, oh, like this is why, like, you know, we can't give him to these acts of terrorism and all that stuff. And then he's like, got that? Now watch this shot. It's just like, dude, what the fuck? Well, and he just swings at the freaking his driver. He's just like, now watch this shot.
Now, yeah, I miss some of the I think they call them Bushisms. They used to have a bunch of you know, like little things, like you could have them as a calendar or whatever, you know, like the little desktop calendar.
Oh my God.
You peel them and stuff, and I remember seeing people with that shit all the time. Let me see, where was one of them? I thank the diplomatic corpse who is here as well. The fuck? Let me see. Let me start off by saying that in 2000 I said, vote for me, I'm an agent of change. In 2004 I said, I'm not interested in change. I want to continue as president. Every candidate has got to say change. That's what the American people expect. Good Lord. You know, but oh yeah, I miss this stuff. So, all I can tell you is when the governor calls, I answer his phone. What? That's your ex-president, people. I think he was a good guy though. Like if you were to hang out with him, what was that movie? Harold and Kumar, Escape from Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
You know, and they accidentally go into George Bush's like ranch or whatever,
Did you guys have that cock meat sandwich?
Oh, I love that part.
Oh man.
And then he drunk dials his dad. And tells him he doesn't want his money anymore. All right, Zumi. Well, I think we should end it there.
All right, buddy.
All right, people. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So, again, Patreon account is in not ours, but the one from this lad that got shot in this Vegas thing. There'll be a link. If you want to donate some money, shell out some couple bucks.
Help somebody out.
Yep. And yeah, we'll hopefully you guys enjoy the episode with Shane, and we'll have him next.
Well,
December or maybe December.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe December.
We'll try to get him before the end of the year. So, but yeah, man, it's good talking to you.
You too. You people have a good 2 weeks.
Later, yo.